Okay, I think we're good. So, I know it's a few minutes early before 8:30, but tonight I am chatting about a few common asked questions as of late and then answering whatever questions you guys have. I'll be on here for about 25 minutes ideally. So, I'm going to just jump in. Something that's been on my mind a lot lately is because I've been getting a lot of questions about it is diet after Candida cleansing. I'm very open with what I eat on my Instagram. I share everything that I eat whenever I have my phone. And I do consume more sugar now than I did in the past. And I have a lot of people asking because I eat sugar if they can also have it. And it really depends on where you're at in life and your tolerance to sugar. I will go through phases where I go weeks without touching any sugar and really eating really low carb. And then all of a sudden I'll have a sugar craving and I will have a little bit of ice cream or I will have a little bit of maple syrup on pancakes. I have done so much candida cleansing and all of that that I can tolerate this. And something that's important is when you're done your candida cleanse, and I've made a video on this, so I'm not going in super in depth, but when you've done a candida cleanse, the most important thing is don't just jump into eating sugar and all this stuff, after not having it for so long, because that will cause your candida to come back. You need to introduce food slowly, super slowly. And the idea of completing a cleanse is not that you're going to go back to your old way of life, it's that you're going to live as balanced as you can. So some days you'll have your sugar and then you'll go through periods where you don't have anything. It's all about listening to your body, but at the same time, understanding that if you have too much junk food, it's going to be harmful for your health. So what I recommend is after a candida cleanse, enjoy the foods you love in moderation and still keep up with cleansing foods. Do raw garlic, do ginger, like in your salad, do ginger teas, have a lot of Ceylon cinnamon in your smoothies or in your oatmeal. Eating antifungal foods regularly that are just good at clearing out the colon and preventing more overgrowth from coming is what's going to help kind of keep things in balance, especially when you introduce sugar and things like that back into your diet. So that's something that I do all the time is I always have antifungals and do lots of herbal teas. I do ginger shots, I do apple cider vinegar, I do a lot of probiotics. So I'm always keeping things in balance. And I know a lot of you send me messages all the time on Instagram and say that it seems like you eat a lot of sugar, and I don't eat a lot of sugar. I rarely ever exceed 20 grams of sugar in a day. That's a high day. Some days I'll go no more than like 10 grams of sugar. So I still don't have a lot, but unless I go out for ice cream with my family. But if I do, I just make sure I'm doing all the enzymes, the probiotics, the antifungals. So that's what you need to do is just keep things in balance. You don't stop cleansing after you've done a candida cleanse. Still try to keep up with hot lemon water. It doesn't have to be every day, but just keep these healthy habits going. And then something else is that seasonally, it's a good idea to do cleansing again. So maybe spring and fall or summer and winter, you want to get back onto some sort of a candida cleanser regime. And that way you're always keeping things in balance in the body. Our body's very delicate and it's very easy to disrupt that balance by having stress or, eating the wrong foods or taking medications. So if you are doing these kinds of things, just keep yourself in balance by doing frequent cleanses as well. So that's all I'm going to say on this topic. I do have a lot of candida cleansing post candida cleansing videos, so hopefully those help. The other thing I want to touch on was weight gain. That's something I get a lot as well. I do have a lot of people trying to be requesting to be my client and telling me that they have a lot of weight issues and that they want to lose weight now. Unfortunately, there's no quick fix to lose weight, and what I do is I'm looking at the root cause of why you have weight troubles. Most of the time it's metabolism, poor breakdown of cholesterol and fats in the body. If you have something that a lot of people don't realize as well, which I think is super cool, is if you're really toxic, if you have a lot of toxicity in your body and you're not eliminating it because your pathways are blocked, what your body will do is it literally makes fat cells to store the toxins in. So you'll get fatter, your body will produce more fat so that it has places to store the toxins because it doesn't want to have the toxins in the bloodstream. If the toxins are in the bloodstream, they'll bounce off the heart and the liver and other things and cause organ damage, and your body knows that. So it puts it in your cells so it's not in the bloodstream. But if you don't have enough fat, if your body is going to make it, or if you already have too much toxicity in your fat, your body needs to make more fat to build up the toxin. So it's kind of crazy and kind of cool to think about. But a lot of times you're just gaining weight because you're toxic and you need to purge to lose the weight. So you really got to look, is it your thyroid? Is it poor liver function because you're not breaking down cholesterol or not storing it properly. If you have cellulite, quite a bit of it, it doesn't necessarily mean you're eating the wrong fats. I mean, you might be consuming things like canola oil and stuff. If that's the case, that could be the cause of your cellulite. But if you have cellulite and you're eating things like avocado oil and coconut oil, like good fats, it just means your body's not breaking down that fat and that cholesterol. So that is where it's storing it in these spots. So what you need to do is get your liver working again by restarting your metabolism and improving your cholesterol breakdown to help get rid of your fat and your cellulite. And you do that with homeopathics. It's really the only way I know how to do it is with certain homeopathics. There's one that I really like. It's a phytogen. It's called metgin, or metabologen is another name for it. If you search MET-gen, so GEN, from Genestra, it's a good homeopathic to help with metabolism. You want to do a lot of things aside from that. So it's not just a one-type supplement that's going to fix you, but it's a great place to start if you're like, what do I do? And just take it for a few, you can do 6 months of it as long as you need, but do a month on, a week off, a month on, a week off. Or 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off. So that's all I'm going to say on the weight gain side, is that there's a lot of reasons why you might be gaining weight. It could be a pituitary insufficiency where your pituitary gland is not functioning, and typically those people will see weight gain from like waist up, whereas they have skinny legs. So if you see someone with skinny legs but bigger up here, that's more so to do with pituitary issues. So there's lots of things to look at. It's hard to know where, and because of that, whenever clients come to me and say, I want to lose weight now, I always say, you can't. You have to address the root causes, and over time, your body will adjust and adapt. Obviously, diet and exercise is important as well. But I want to start answering your questions and hear from you guys. So if you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll try to get to everyone within the next 15 minutes ish. Today I was out. I'm just waiting for you guys to post if you have anything. So in the meantime, I'm going to just tell you a little bit about my day. I had some clients today, and after that I went out to the store, took my kids to my mom's. She watched them for me today, which was so helpful. And I went out to the store and I bought some new holistic books. I shared them on Instagram, and some good novels and fiction books to read. And I'm sharing this for a reason. So the reason why I'm sharing it is because what I started to do lately, and it's been helping tremendously with managing my stress, is I have been reading. And I was not a reader. I actually hated books. I only read books when I had to, like if it was school or something, like if I had to do textbooks, but it would take everything out of me to physically sit down and read a book. And I have found lately one of the best ways for me to personally keep my stress levels in balance is to read. And I know it kind of sounds weird, like how does that keep your stress down? But I take this opportunity while I'm reading to deep breathe the entire time I'm reading. And I know it sounds kind of crazy to have to think about both, but you don't actually have to think about it. It actually happens pretty naturally if you tell yourself you're going to do it. And it's something that I've been telling my clients to do lately because it works really well for me. And it's something new for me. And maybe that's the past 5 months I've been doing this, where I read a book, and as I'm reading, I just be conscious to breathe very slowly, deep breath in and breathe out really slow. And it really, really does help. And I'm bringing this up because I have found that something that's helped with weight. I never really had a huge issue with weight. I was always on like a smaller frame. I did have an issue after I gave birth with my metabolism. I found it was really hard to lose the weight like it used to be. But something I find I gain weight easily is when I'm very stressed, and it makes sense because your cortisol spikes, and when your cortisol spikes, your testosterone is lower, and testosterone is what helps you get your metabolism going. So when I do these deep breathing and this reading and stuff, it actually has helped me so much keep my stress down, which has really helped with balancing my weight. Before, I usually fluctuate a lot. Like some days I'll wake up and I feel super fluffy, and then other days I feel really lean. And I find it's not very consistent. It's very up and down. But as I've been reading more and taking that time to deep breathe and keep my stress levels down, which deep breathing is amazing for, my weight has been so much more stable. I'm like super excited about these results. So that's why I'm sharing it. It's for if you're looking for another thing to do for your weight, is keep your stress down, keep your cortisol down so your testosterone is higher, and that will help as well. So just wanted to share that because it's been working really well with me. Hey guys, thanks for joining. Can you talk more about how drainers work? Yes, guys, I don't know if you know this, so a few things before I get into that. My Facebook page for Happy Holistic Life was taken down off of Facebook. I know Facebook has been censoring health pages ever since they became a pharmaceutical company or own a pharmaceutical company. I have found that, and not just me, other YouTubers who are health as well, have found that their Facebook pages are being censored or removed altogether. So mine is gone, which is why I'm not able to share my blog posts with you guys, because I do talk about drainers and all sorts of things on my blog. And I want to encourage you to head over to my blog. So if you go holisticspring.com, and then once you're on my website, you'll see a tab for blog. Just click that and you'll see all my articles. If you leave a comment on an article, I think it would ask for your email, and then you'll be like, subscribe to my blog, where you should get notifications if I post a new blog post. You should. But otherwise, follow me on Instagram to get updates when I post new blog posts. But I do talk a lot more about homeopathics and things like that over there, but I will touch on it here. I will try to open up a new Facebook page, but that's not going to be for right now, just because life is crazy. But yeah, drainers are incredible. So homeopathics are the only drainers that exist. They have been around since the 1800s, since Dr. Hahnemann invented them. They are incredible, and unfortunately a lot of people just don't know about them, because when the shift came from holistic health to the medical, like more modern medicine, the doctors stopped using homeopathy. They kind of banned it in a lot of countries, like back in the day, and that's why it started to kind of get kicked under the rug or pushed under the rug, where only a select few people knew about it and knew how to prescribe it. And most of the doctors were more into modern medicine, where they were treating the symptoms rather than the root cause. And so as homeopathy became more like banned in certain countries, less people knew of it, and then doctors weren't educating people that it was an option. So that's why up to today now, a lot of people don't know about homeopathy. A lot of naturopaths and functional medicine doctors don't know about it, just because, or at least don't practice it, just because it's something that is finally just making a comeback, where people are like, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I personally have, over the past 5 years, I feel like health is really kind of coming back, like holistic health. It's so much easier to find organic products, gluten-free products. Even Doritos has organic chips now. I'm not saying they're healthy, but even they are understanding that people are wanting this kind of stuff. So as people are getting more health conscious, homeopathy is kind of creeping back in, where more people are starting to do it because they're looking for an alternative. And so if you haven't heard of it in the past, or you're wondering why a lot of doctors or naturopaths are not doing this, it's not because it's a woo-woo thing or something that doesn't work. It's just because honestly a lot of them don't know about it or don't understand it, because it's been banned in so many countries for so long that now that it's finally back, a lot of people just haven't gotten back into it. So after that rant, the way it works, it's incredible. So it works energetically. Every single cell in our body has an energy. It has a positive or negative charge, and it has a frequency. Our entire nervous system runs on energy or frequencies. And that's how homeopathy works as well. They take tons of different minerals, plants, even some heavy metals. They take certain glandular tissues. There's so many different things that they use to create tinctures. And what they do is they make extracts of specific remedies. And what Hahnemann did back in the day in the 1800s is he tried thousands of different combinations to make thousands of different remedies. He went through each of them and tried them on different people and found what worked and what didn't. And at the end, he came up with 1,000 different things that worked, just over 1,000 different remedies, homeopathic remedies that worked for very specific conditions. Now today, they've really kind of refined all of it even more and found the most important ones. And that's kind of what we use as drainers. And so because there's so many options to go, but he did this back in the 1800s, where he went through tons of different plants and herbs and minerals and things to make these formulas. So the formulas today are the same as they were back then. And they're specific plants, just like if you take, for example, echinacea to boost your immune system. Its herb form. If you're looking to boost immunity with homeopathy, there would be echinacea in it, but in just a much smaller dose. And the idea with homeopathy is that you treat your symptoms with microscopic doses, with very small amounts. Your body doesn't need a ton. Less is always more when it comes to homeopathy, and it's because they're working energetically. So going back to the energetics of it, like I said, everything runs on a frequency, and with homeopathy, they take these specific plants and minerals and things, and they make an extract, and then they dilute it. There are different dilutions, and you use a different dilution based on if your symptoms are chronic or acute, or how how mild or how severe they are. I won't go into that. That's a whole other YouTube video. But essentially, there's different dilutions, and all they do is they take the extract and they dilute it with alcohol as many times as they need to make the specific dosage, to make the specific frequency to match our frequency, to rebalance our imbalanced frequencies, if that makes sense. So when you are using homeopathy, the reason why it's in an alcohol, you're only using a few tiny drops, so you're not chugging alcohol. It's just a tiny drops that you use. But the reason why it's in an alcohol base is because alcohol is the only, I guess, medium to help transport the energies that are within the tinctures into the actual cells. So whereas herbs kind of work on the entire body, you go in, your liver has to break it down, and then hopefully it does some work. Homeopathy goes under your tongue, goes right into your bloodstream, and instantly alters and adapts your cells and drains the different organs. And it does that because when you're sick, when you're inflamed and you have toxins in your body, your frequency in your body alters or gets disrupted. If you think about, say you're on, and this might be like a little bit of an out there example, but say you are listening to a radio and a massive storm comes in and it kind of disrupts the frequencies of the radio or the radio waves, you might get a little bit of like that disruption, like that shh type of sound in your radio. And it's just because there's a disruption, and that's how our bodies work. If you have parasites or candida or heavy metals or something like that, there's that disruption happening within our frequencies, and that is what is leading to disease. So homeopathy goes back and corrects these frequencies by absorbing into our cells and altering the way our cells function, and draining our liver and removing these blockages. So it's so complicated. There's so much more to it. Homeopathy is like a 4-year thing. So to kind of compile it all into a few minutes is like impossible, but hopefully that explains it a little bit about how it works. It works more energetically. You're not taking a physical herb. You're doing a very diluted part of the herb. And that way it's gentler on the body, but much deeper acting. So there's nothing deeper acting than homeopathy. It's absolutely incredible. I'm obsessed with it, if you can't tell. So that's why I like to use it. It's just extremely effective, and that's the way it works, is it's changing your frequencies in your body so that your body's back in balance. When we say balance, we mean energetically. Obviously, spiritually, emotionally, there's so many ways to be in balance, but energetically is very important because that's where our health comes in. So hopefully that answers the question there. Okay. What supplements can help with arthritis? I think I have an arthritis video. I might not. I don't even remember. I have a lot of videos out. Arthritis is coming from too much acidity in the body. If you have too many toxins and your kidneys are not pushing out the toxins, the uric acids, which are acidic toxins, they'll stay in your body and prevent your body from alkalizing. So your body will be very acidic, and your body has to maintain a specific pH or you literally will die. So in order to maintain a specific pH, your body will go and pull minerals from your bones to keep your body alkaline. So that's where the start of arthritis comes. And the more this happens, the more inflammation you get, which is when the joints start to get affected. So you always want to work on the level of the kidneys when it comes to bones and acidic toxins, as your kidneys are what pushes out those uric acids. So kidney drainers are so important. There's so many out there. It's hard to give you a recommendation here, but what you want to do, the first thing is alkalize. Do a ton of chlorella or spirulina, lots of green juices and green foods, and then you want to make sure you're doing anti-inflammatories. Ginger and garlic are so good. Ginger shots are great. Apple cider vinegar is great because it's really alkaline when it breaks down in the body. I love turmeric, curcumin, boswellia or frankincense supplements, cod liver oil. These are super anti-inflammatory. Those will kind of just reduce inflammation, but like I said, you want to get to the root cause, which is drainage, and cleansing the liver and kidneys and all of that. Kidneys are the most important when it comes to arthritis. How do I get rid of acne on the scalp? I have videos about acne and talking about the skin. If you have any skin display at all, you want to do liver and kidney drainage. I have, or at least fungal cleansing and liver support. I have a lot of videos on that, so I don't want to get into that right now. But hopefully you can check out those videos, and that will help lead you to the right path. I do also have articles about that on my blog as well, which should help as well. So hopefully you'll get some guidance from there. Hello. Why was it banned in countries? Great question. So it started off in Germany. It's where they were made. And it was banned because the government was getting a lot of money from pharmaceutical companies. And just like it is today, pharmaceutical companies fund a lot of things. And most people are on team pharmaceuticals because of the multi-billion or maybe even trillion, I don't even know how big this industry is now, but it's huge. There's a ton of money from these places. They pay doctors, they pay the government, they support so many things that people are all about pharmaceuticals and not about anything healthy because they don't get paid from healthy things. So that's a quick description of it. Is back then, when homeopathy started taking off and they started realizing it works really well, pharmaceutical companies were like, no, we're concerned about our money, and they push the governments to push back on homeopathics. And not just homeopathy, a lot of herbal medicine back then was also banned as well. So it was very hard to find an herbalist. I'm talking like a couple, like 100 or something years ago, a little more than that, a lot more than that. So they were banned for a while, slowly started to make their way back. Now it seems like they're trying to be banned again. Homeopathy, if you're not in the homeopathy world, you won't know this, but there's a lot of pushback and a lot of clinics that have been shut down. People are trying, and by people I mean pharmaceutical companies and things like that, are trying to ban them again. If you think about it, and I don't want to put all doctors under the bus here, but a lot of the doctors that you go to barely listen to your they just listen to your symptoms, but they barely listen to anything else. As soon as they hear a symptom, they give you a prescription. The reason why they do that is a lot of doctors are just busy and don't have time to deal with clients, but honestly, a lot of it has to do with the fact that every time they make a prescription, they get paid. And as sad as it is, doctors make their very lovely income on the fact that they're prescribing a lot of medications. They have contracts with pharmaceutical companies or relationships. A lot of doctors will have a pharmacy in their office now where they get a portion of the sales. Just like if you made a product, say you were making granola bars, you would want everyone to buy them. And if you had people come to your house, you would be saying, try my granola bars, because you want to make money. You want to push this product. That's how doctors are with pharmaceutical companies. And it's just kind of unfortunate that it's like that. I personally think a lot of doctors understand how great natural medicine is, how great herbs are, and homeopathy and things like that. But they're nervous that if they start recommending clients, sending clients to functional medicine doctors, sending clients to use herbs and things like that, that they're not going to be making money, which is true. So you have, unfortunately, this massive industry that's just really leading things, and having companies like Facebook now and Google having their own pharmaceutical companies. Now everything's even heavily censored, so it's going to be harder and harder to find these healthy YouTube channels or these healthy blogs or things that are pushing natural things, and it's just really unfortunate. But anyways, that's why it was banned. It was just because they don't want competition. I'm just going to grab my water. I've had so many consults today, I'm losing my voice. Just scrolling here. How do you get your period back naturally? This is a very big topic. I'm going to do a video on this, on amenorrhea and dysmenorrhea, because it's too big to talk here, but it's major hormonal imbalances and a lot of toxicity that you need to drain or push out somehow. It's just, I'm sorry, I want to get into more detail. It's just too big to share in this because there's so many imbalances and root causes in the body for your body to stop. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or stress people out, but I also want to be honest about how the body works. When you have a function like a period, women need periods to help balance our hormones, to be fertile, and all of this stuff. When you have such bad hormonal imbalance that your body halts your period, it does it because it's threatened. Our bodies are built to survive. They're meant to stay alive, and it will do whatever it takes to live as long as it can. And unfortunately, when you're so toxic or super inflamed that your body's scared for its survival, it needs to reserve its resources. And unfortunately, reproducing or making a baby, like having to grow a baby, will take too many resources from your body. So your body will halt your fertility or stop your period, so it doesn't have to worry about having to grow a human, so it can keep all the resources for itself to survive as long as possible. So what is very common, and again, I'm not trying to stress people out, this is a very extreme scenario and way down the road type of thing, but if someone has a major hormonal imbalances, like they don't get their periods, unless it's menopause or perimenopause or something like that, if there's major infertility issues like that, where your hormones are so out of balance, your body's shutting down, it could lead to full-blown autoimmune or like cell degeneration, which is cancer at some point. So what the way homeopathy works is we look at the energies in the body. So why is your body not producing a period? Because it's threatened, it is trying to survive. Why is it trying to survive? Why is it feeling so threatened that it's stopping your period? Because it's overloaded with toxins. And the more toxins it's overloaded with, the more is inside your physical cells. And if your body can't push the toxins out effectively enough from the cells will break down and mutate. And that's when things like cancer start. So I'm not saying you're getting cancer. I'm not trying to stress you out, but I do want to give you like I guess like the theory behind why periods stop. I'm going to make a video on it, but the most important thing for right now, if your periods have stopped, is drainage and detoxification. Get on a chlorella, spirulina, get on hot lemon water, just some basic stuff for now to really drain and detoxify. If you can find like somebody to work with to help you get through these hormonal imbalances, bring your hormones back. You want to look at your pituitary gland mainly for periods, but also thyroid, adrenals as well. Get your hormonal system back up and running, get toxins out, and your body will re-regulate just fine. But just trying to, I hope I didn't stress anyone out by saying that. I just like to give people more understanding on how the body physically works rather than just talking about symptoms and things like that. So hopefully that explains a little bit. I've tried homeopathy, different kinds and doctors, but I never feel any better. If you've done homeopathy and don't feel better after a few protocols, it's just the wrong ones are being selected for you. Homeopathy is incredible, but if the right ones are chosen, if the wrong ones are chosen, you won't get better. But also on the same time, I do have to plug in my phone. It's looking like the battery's low. At the same time, some clients, depending on how toxic they are, will take a year before they feel better. So don't disregard homeopathy if you've only done a couple rounds, or if you've gone from one protocol to the next with different doctors, because if you're not on the same one with the same doctor for a while as well, or same practitioner, it won't take effect. The first thing I tell my clients when we're working with homeopathy is I have no idea how long it's going to take to get results. The most important thing is to be consistent and just keep going until you get results, because you will, but it will just take different amounts of time for everyone, provided the right homeopathy is being prescribed. Another thing too is that homeopathy has to be in an alcohol based for it to be effective. I do see a lot of functional medicine doctors or homeopaths recommending homeopathy that's in a glycerin solution, like the ones you can get from your local health food store. Those ones are ineffective. Glycerin cannot get the energies inside the cell. It has to be an alcohol. So there's that as well. It depends on the type of homeopathy you were given as well. So there's so many reasons why, but don't disregard homeopathy. It's just maybe the person who was suggesting it either gave you the wrong ones, or you weren't sticking to it long enough, or it was poor quality. So just some of those things there. I tell anyone in need about your channel. Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. How long does it take to clear your skin from psoriasis? Excuse me. Everyone is different. I have a video on that, so hopefully you can check it out. Anywhere from 6 months to a few years. It really depends on how severe it is, how you're detoxing, how good you are with diet, etc., genetics, age. There's a lot of factors for it. A lot of people talk about turpentine. I don't personally use it. I think it's really intense for Candida cleansing. I mean, you could give it a try. I've personally never used it. I never use it with my clients ever. I always use things like black walnut and certain homeopathics and things like that instead. But I know a lot of people are into it. I've heard so many people ask me about it. So it's always up to you if you want to try it. I just think it's a little bit intense. It's a little bit strong. Brown rice, so answering Tyler Rothman's question, brown rice is high in carbs. So if you have Candida overgrowth and you're eating a lot of brown rice, yes, absolutely, your skin will get worse because Candida will be flaring. So I would say don't eat brown rice. Try to get your calories in from some other source of calories, like healthy fats, salmon, avocado. Try to go a little higher fat. I know you do need carbs if you're weightlifting, but I would rotate and try to do like a little bit of brown rice, some wild rice, quinoa, buckwheat. Try to get your carbs from other sources rather than just starchy grain. I'm losing weight because of digestive issues, the ape diet. What healthy foods have a lot of calories? Any fat, so avocados, all your nuts and seed butters, your wild caught salmon, grass-fed beefs are great because they have fat. All of that kind of stuff are great. It depends on what sensitivities you have. I don't know if you're eating nuts or even beef right now, but it's hard with that. If you feel like you're losing weight and you're limited on food, I recommend just doing a protein shake several times throughout the day. You can do like a hemp protein or something and just mix it with some coconut milk and chug that a few times a day to increase your calories. If you have kidney issues, you don't want to overdo protein, but that would just be my suggestion there. You know how to get rid of hypertrophic scars naturally. Whenever there is a scar in your tissues, it's from usually a lack of certain nutrients and your body's unable to kind of turn over your cells. At the same time, some scars are just scars where your skin has been damaged through so many layers that unless your body gets rid of all of those layers of skin, your scar is going to remain. So depends how deep the scar goes. If it's more of like a very superficial scar, it's just you can do things like B complex and vitamins and minerals, like a mineral complex to help give your body nutrients and essential fats, like cod liver oil, to give your body nutrients to kind of heal the skin. What will happen is your body's last priority is on appearance. If your body's more focused on doing other things, it's not going to try to get rid of scars. But if you're really healthy and balanced, your body will go and try to repair every little bit of itself. But scars is not something. Wounds are important to prevent infection, so your body will do that. But then it goes and does other things once the wound is closed. So scars are kind of on the last of the list on your body's priority. But scars are much harder to get rid of, again, because it depends how deep the damage is to the tissue. I'm going to sign off soon because this video is getting pretty long. Hi, Dahlia. Aw, thank you so much. I love working with you too. So I know, so I have a bunch of clients. Dahlia's been working with me for a while. Some clients get results right away. Others, it takes a long time, and it comes down to the person and their build and their toxicity levels and all of that. So homeopathy is fantastic, but it depends on the person. If you have to be sticking with it and consistent, if you don't see results, just keep going because you will. It's just a lot of internal things have to happen first to see physical signs. Thanks for joining the live stream. I'm just scrolling through everything, but I think I'm going to sign off soon. Have a great night. Thank you, as your videos and stories have helped me with psoriasis and switching to natural pro. Thank you so much for following along. I just love being able to share what I do with everyone, and I love using Instagram and things like that to kind of bring out my message. I'm so upset about Facebook being closed down because that's where I reached a lot of you who don't have Instagram, so it's very unfortunate. But if you are looking to kind of get hold of me, Instagram's probably the best as of right now to kind of get posts from me and my blog, just because I'm not starting a Facebook page again until I get a little bit of time. So super bummed about that. I can't access my page, so I can't even reach out to those of you who were on Facebook. So hopefully you guys watch this video and see that my Facebook page was taken down and try to find me either through YouTube, my blog, or Instagram. I'm just last question, then I'm signing off from Jody Lee. Thank you for answering my questions. If you have time, I have another. Do you have thoughts on celery juice on an empty stomach in the morning? Celery juice is great. If you're going to do something in the morning, I would highly take advantage of something warming like a hot lemon water or an herbal tea. Starting off your morning with something cold and raw can kind of throw off your digestion the rest of the day, whereas starting with something warm and soothing will really kick it into gear the rest of the day, and then maybe do a celery juice after that. And then that's a little bit better way to line things up. But that's just my opinion. Celery juice is great. You can take it at any time that you would like, but that's where I'm kind of where my head's at with that. But yeah, thank you everyone so much for joining the live. I will be doing more. I have some good YouTube videos coming out as well. I just need to edit and upload. But if you would like to hear more from me, my blog is a good place to go. I share lots of amazing recipes and articles. Instagram, I share stories every day with tips, with awesome posts, leaky gut, candida tips, psoriasis tips. Lots of content on there. If you can follow me, it's at Marla's Healthy Life. And just follow along day to day if you have Instagram. Otherwise, I will see you in my next YouTube video. Good night, guys. Bye.